John?
Thank you very much, and I appreciate this opportunity to be before you tonight. And once again, I am John Russell, and I'm running for the U.S. Congress here in District 5, which encompasses all of Hernando County. What I'd like to say is, I am here to serve you no matter what your political affiliation. We're all in this together. I think we saw the stock market today only dropped 128 points today. And I want to go to Congress to work on your behalf by being engaged. Engaged in the process, not just showing up to vote once in a while or cashing my check. I want to be engaged. You know, if I was on the House Finance Committee like my opponent, I would have been asking some questions. I would have cut through the 70 members of the House Finance Committee a long time ago. But we didn't hear a peep out of my opponent, did we? And quite frankly, where is my opponent tonight? It has nothing to do with me. It's all about you. I think there's questions that you have that you would like answered from the person who has been there as your elected official. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to use my campaign contributions to put out material such as has been put out against me of distortions and lies. I'm not going to use your tax dollars to fund material gratuitously promoting myself. I'm not going to use my position for mutual benefit and commercial purposes. I'm going to work with you to make your life better, make sure you know what's going on in Congress so you can do your own planning, whether it's financial or otherwise. And I'm going to keep my promises. My opponent promised in a letter she wouldn't vote for drilling off the coast of Florida, that most people in Florida were against it, but now she's all for it. All my material, all my positions are available on johnrussellforcongress.com. I'm running to serve you, not big business, not special interests, and to look out for your welfare, no matter what your party is, to build small business, to build this economy, to build jobs for your children that may be here that have to move elsewhere. And I'm here to make sure that your costs are lowered. National Catastrophic Homeowners Insurance Plan. And I have the skill set as a nationally certified acute care nurse practitioner with an MBA in health systems management, and as a former financial advisor, I have the skill set to go to Washington and intervene on these problems that haven't gone away just because we didn't crash 500 points today, but we'll be here going forward with a whole pipeline of bad mortgages for 2009 and 2010. I ask you for your vote. I'm John Russell, running for U.S. Congress District 5, and I'm running to serve you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. As John indicated, he is the only candidate from District 5 who is with us this evening. I do have a couple of written questions for you, John.
All righty.
Someone says Ralph Nader suggested on CNN's America Morning on October 3rd to tax 0.1% on all securities derivative speculation that is going on. He stated that would create $500 billion in revenue, which would go a long way paying back the Wall Street bailout. What do you think of that idea? And if you agree, would you introduce something like this if you're elected to Congress?
First of all, I am not a career politician. I'm not trying to get a job. I'm here running because I believe I have the ability to do something to change the direction of this country. I put out a set of conditions in a press release this Sunday before any votes were taken. And on that set of conditions, which is posted on my website, johnrussellforcongress.com, right on the front page, I did put in place that actual piece, which was not Ralph Nader's idea in the first place. It actually came out of a congresswoman, don't recall her name, but the British have done something similar, and that's where she got the idea from. What we have to do is we need to make sure that the taxpayers have a stake and numerous economists, as well as politicians on both sides of the aisle, congresspeople on both sides of the aisle, have suggested that in return for liquidity, we take a senior preferred stock position in return for any liquidity we inject into the marketplace vis-a-vis these companies. We also have to hold these people accountable, from the loan officers that made corrupt loans in the first place to put us in this position, these loans, to the CEOs who package these things into derivatives and swaps, so-called, that have led us to having the very foundation of our economy torn asunder, with basically on a foundation of air, because these things are essentially worthless once the toothpicks holding it up start to pop, and those toothpicks being the housing values that we see that were artificially inflated by all the artificial demand created by these phony mortgages. So JohnRussellForCongress.com, you'll see all the conditions I've put in place, including investigation, prosecution, securing of evidence right now, helping homeowners that are in this predicament with the bad mortgages, to help stabilize the future cash flows coming down the line. With my MBA and background as a financial advisor and ability to understand this, I am your best avenue going forward for solving this problem. I ask you for your vote.
Thank you, John. I have another question that was given to Chuck. If elected, will you co-sponsor current bills in the House of Representatives in support of the elimination of windfall elimination program and the government pension offset laws for some federal, state, county, and city retired employees? Due to these laws, these individuals who have earned the right to collect Social Security from other earnings have their Social Security amounts decreased based on their government pensions.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. There's lots of issues that are similar to that with the veterans. I have on my website a list called Solutions for Veterans that you can see on my website that details, in fact, similar issues, among others. And of course, we need to fund the Veterans Administration with mandatory funding. But when we're talking about, people shouldn't have offsets on their Social Security. If they paid into their Social Security, they shouldn't be robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, and having the worker hold the bag, so to speak. We're all holding the bag because of this largesse and this grandiose greed and misappropriation and malfeasance on Wall Street. We shouldn't be holding the bag when it comes to Social Security if we've worked hard. And remember, when we look at this and we see what's been happening over the past 2 weeks, we see that pensions are at risk because of this. And who is responsible? It's the people who haven't been paying attention, that are supposed to be representing us in Congress and have not been doing so. I will represent you vigorously, no matter who you are, what your income, where you come from. I will stand up for you. And again, I ask you and I thank you if you will honor me with your vote for U.S. Congress in District 5. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I have no other written questions, and if there are no questions from the audience, John, why don't you take 1 minute to summarize? I know that you're dominating this, but you're the only candidates. Go ahead.
That's it? Oh, we got a question?
Question, I'm sorry.
Got a question? Go for it.
Come to the mic, please.
This is more of a statement than a question. I thank you for your explanation. Your answers to the 2 questions, which I believe could have been answered almost yes or no, but instead imparted 1,000-word answers, tells me you're a politician. You just lost my vote.
Yeah, let's try to leave the statements to your buddies and ask a question on the microphone.
Sir, any question you have is, I'd like to give people details so they understand what I'm talking about. That's all. I'm the least political person in this room. Straightforward is my middle name. Okay? Thank you.